Fighting with the swords, gone. Playing with the brain, on. Let's play Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3.
International Giraffe Chess Federation presents Hattrick League Season 3 between 10 Proddatur teams. Hello everyone, welcome to India's new 68 squared Giraffe Chess Academy Proddatur and welcome to the live telecast of no draws, no resigns, only win or lose in just 70 moves Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us watch Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 22nd match between Proddatur Spartans team versus Proddatur Kings team. Each team consists of 3 players. Whoever team all outs opponent all 3 players is the match winners. Let us see the toss at the center of the court.
Okay. Head is the call for the Proddatur Kings. Tails. Toss won by the Proddatur Spartans. What you select? White side or black side? Proddatur Spartans won the toss and elected to play on black side.
And in toss, Proddatur Spartans team, they won the toss and opted to play on black side. And here is the both teams lineup for Proddatur Spartans team. Tejesh is the opener and Nawaz is the second player and Jashwant will come to play as third player. And for Proddatur Kings team, Abdullah is the opener and Abdul Waris is the second player and Arvind will comes to play as third player. Now, let us watch first game of the match between Proddatur Kings team opening player Abdullah versus Proddatur Spartans team opening player Tejesh. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch. Let us move on to the court. One-time hat-trick hero, Young Scholar awardee, Proddatur Kings team opening player Abdullah is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. Young Scholar awardee, Proddatur Spartans team opening player Tejesh is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 1 of the match. Black side player Tejesh is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 1 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to d6, pawn to f4, pawn to e5, pawn capture, pawn to e5, knight to c6, pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn capture, pawn at d5, queen capture, pawn at d5, knight to c3, queen capture, pawn at d4, queen capture, queen at d4, knight capture, queen at d4, giraffe to f3, bishop to g4, king to d2, knight to c6, pawn to h3, bishop to d7, giraffe to e3, giraffe to d6, pawn capture giraffe to d6, pawn capture pawn at d6, bishop to h2, pawn to h6, pawn to g4, bishop to e7, knight to d5, bishop to g5 and check to white king, king to d1, giraffe to e6, knight to c7 and check to black king, king to d8, knight capture rook at a8, giraffe capture giraffe at f3, knight capture giraffe at f3, knight to f6, giraffe capture bishop at g5, pawn capture giraffe at g5, knight capture pawn at g5, rook to e8, knight capture pawn at f7 and check to black king, king to e7, knight to c7, rook to c8, knight to e9, rook capture knight at c7, knight capture bishop at d7, rook capture knight at d7, bishop to b5, king to f8, pawn to g5, knight to e4, bishop capture knight at c6, pawn capture bishop at c6, rook to f1 and check to black king, king to g8, bishop to e3, knight to g3, rook to f3, knight to h5, king to d2, rook to f7, rook to f1, rook capture rook at f3, rook capture rook at f3, pawn to c5, king to c3, king to h7, king to c4, king to g6, king to d5, knight to f4 and check to white king, bishop capture knight at f4, king to f5, bishop capture pawn at d6, king capture pawn at g5, rook to f4, king to h4 illegal, king to h5, king to c6, pawn to g5, rook to c4, pawn to g4, rook capture pawn at g4, pawn to c4, king to c7, pawn to c3, king to d8.
Now we can see Abdullah is just one step away to win by crowning. Yes, he moved king to d9 and won the game by crowning. What a superb crowning win to Abdullah. Tejas out. Proddatur Spartans team, first player Tejas out. Abdullah, with this win, he won the first game and still need 2 more wins to do Hattrick and become Hattrick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch second game of the match between Proddatur Kings team opening player Abdullah versus Proddatur Spartans team second player Nawaz. Let us see among game. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Young Scholar awardee Proddatur Kings team opening player Abdullah is ready to play on black side. Let us see on our side of the court. 9 times Hattrick hero, Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Spartans team second player Nawaz is ready to play on white side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 2 of the match. Black side player Abdullah is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 2 started.
Pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to c4, pawn capture pawn at c4, pawn to e4, knight to h6, bishop capture pawn at c4, knight to c6, knight to f3, pawn to e6, knight to c3, bishop to b4, castling at king side, bishop capture knight at c3, giraffe capture bishop at c3, pawn to f6, giraffe to f4, giraffe to d6, pawn to e5, pawn capture pawn at e5, pawn capture pawn at e5, giraffe to g5, queen captured queen at d8 and check to black king, king capture queen at d8, giraffe capture pawn at g7 and check to black king, king to d7, knight capture giraffe at g5, king to e7, giraffe to b4 and check to black king, king to f8, knight to e4, knight capture pawn to e5, rook to d1, knight capture bishop at c4, rook to d8 and check to black king, king to f7, rook capture rook at h8, pawn to e5, giraffe to c5, pawn to b6, bishop capture knight at h6, pawn capture giraffe at c5, rook to c1, knight capture pawn at b2, rook capture pawn at c5, king to g6, bishop to c1, knight to a4, Rook capture pawn at c7. Giraffe to e6. Rook to g8 and check to black king. King to f5. Knight to g3 and check to black king.
Now Nawaz
King to
turn. Nawaz
f6.
immediately moved bishop
Bishop
to
to
g5 and
check to
set
black
check
king,
to
and
black
it's a
king.
checkmate.
It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Nawaz. What is superb checkmate win to Nawaz. Abdullah out. Proddatur King's team lost the opening player. A big disappointment to Abdullah. He won the first game in the match, but in the second game he out. Then with this, Nawaz he won first game and still need two more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch third game of the match between Proddatur King's team, second player Abdul Waris versus Proddatur Spartans team, second player Nawaz. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Nawaz already won the first game and now playing for winning the second game. Let us see what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Written scholar about the Proddatur King's team, second player Abdul Waris is ready to play on right side. Let us see on other side of the court. 9 times hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, Proddatur Spartans team second player Nawaz is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 3 of the match. Black side player Nawaz is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 3 started.
Pawn to h3. Pawn to e5. Giraffe to e3. Pawn to d5. Giraffe to h2. Pawn to h6. Pawn to e3. Pawn to c5. Knight to f3. Pawn to e4. Knight to e5. Bishop to d6. Knight to g4. Pawn to f5. Pawn to f3. Pawn capture knight at g4. Pawn capture pawn at g4. knight to f6, pawn to d3, pawn capture pawn to d3, pawn capture pawn to d3, knight to c6, bishop to e2, queen to c7, pawn to g5, knight to d7, pawn to e4, rook to f8, bishop to e3, queen to a5 and check to white king, bishop to d2.
Now Nawaz immediately moved bishop to g3
Bishop to
and said check
G3
to
and
white
check
king.
to white king,
It is
and
not
it's a
only
checkmate.
check, it is a checkmate win to Nawaz. What a superb checkmate win to Nawaz. Abdul Waris out. Proddatur Kings team second player Abdul Waris out. Nawaz with this win he won continuously 2 games and still need one more win to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch fourth game of the match between Proddatur Kings team last player Aravind versus Proddatur Spartans team second player Nawaz. Let us see who will win this game. If Nawaz wins this game, his Proddatur Spartans team won the match. If Aravind wins this game, match will be tied with 2-all games and go for fifth game for result. Let us move on to the court. 4 times hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, Proddatur Kings team last player Aravind is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. 9 times hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, Proddatur Spartans team second player Nawaz is ready to play on white side. Now we can see both players are ready to start. Game 4 of the match. Black side player Aravind is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 4 started.
Pawn to d4, pawn to e6, pawn to c4, pawn to d6, pawn to e4, pawn to c5, pawn to b5, pawn to e5, knight to c3, pawn to a6, pawn to a4, bishop to d7, knight to f3, knight to f6, giraffe to e3, giraffe to g8, giraffe capture knight at f6, giraffe capture giraffe at f6, bishop to d3, pawn to b5, pawn capture pawn at b5, giraffe to d9, pawn capture pawn to a6, knight capture pawn to a6, bishop to b2, knight to b4, rook capture rook at a8, giraffe capture rook at a8, queen to b3, giraffe to c7, castling at kingside, knight capture bishop at d3, giraffe capture knight at d3, bishop to e7, rook to a1, castling at kingside, giraffe to c6, bishop capture giraffe at c6, pawn capture bishop at c6, giraffe to f6, queen to b7, giraffe to d9, knight to d5, Rook to e8. Bishop to a5. Queen to b8. Knight capture bishop at e7 and check to black king. King to h8. Queen capture queen at b8. Rook capture queen at b8. Knight capture giraffe at b9. Rook to c8. Pawn to c7. Pawn to g6. Knight to e7. King to g7. Knight capture rook at c8. King to f8. Knight to a7. King to g7. Pawn to c8. P equal to queen. King to h6. Queen to f8 and check to black king. King to h5. Pawn to h3. Pawn to h6.
Now Nawaz
Pawn to
immediately
g4
moved
and
pawn
check
to
black king
g4 and
it's a
set
checkmate.
check to black king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Nawaz. What a superb checkmate win to Nawaz. Aravind out. Proddatur Kings team last player Aravind out. With this out, Proddatur Kings team all out and lost the match. And Nawaz, with this win, he won continuously 3 games and did hat-trick and became hat-trick hero of today's great match. And this is his 10th hat-trick in Hattrick League. Congratulations, 10 times a hat-trick hero, Nawaz.
Hello everyone, welcome to Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Just now we have successfully completed Proddatur Spartans versus Proddatur Kings. In this match, most exciting match, we have one more hat-trick from the 6 times hat-trick hero Nawaz. He did one more hat-trick today. Congratulations Nawaz. And Giraffe Chess Federation is giving away for every hat-trick 500 rupees, and here is the final cash prize for the hat-trick hero of today's match, Nawaz. Now, let us have a small interview of today's hat-trick hero, Nawaz. He did today's hat-trick in just 78 moves. Very good moves. Each move is crucial. That too, 78 moves only. First, he out the opponent Kings team player Abdullah crowning 28 moves. So what is the best move in that?
అబ్దుల్లా తన బాగా ఆడినప్పటికీ తన మధ్యలో గేమ్ టెన్షన్తో మిస్టేక్ చేయడం వల్ల నేను ఆ గేమ్ గెలిచాను.
Very good. Now, second game. First game he won. He out the Abdullah. Second game he played with Waris. Checkmate. 16 moves. So second game he won by the checkmate. He out the Waris. What is the best one?
వారిస్ చాలా బాగా ఆడాడు. అతను డిఫెన్స్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళాడు కానీ ఒక మిస్టేక్ చేయడం వల్ల నేను ఆ గేమ్ గెలిచాను.
Very good. So that is about the game 2 winning formula. Now let us move to the third game, that is Hattrick. While he is playing for Hattrick, opposite player and playing Hattrick player both have little bit tension and so much excitement for the spectators. Now let us see the game 3. Game 3 by Aravind. He is a very good player, Hattrick hero, and he is a Hattrick League 1 and League 2 player. So in that he won by the checkmate. So what is the best breakthrough?
నేను అరవింద్ సీనియర్ ప్లేయర్ కావడం వల్ల ఇద్దరం చాలా బాగా ఆడాము కానీ అరవింద్ మధ్యలో ఒక పోయి ఇవ్వడం వలన నేను ఆ గేమ్ గెలిచాను.
Very good. So this is all about the 3 games, how he won in the difficult situation also. He came up with the best moves and he won. So finally this is the 7th hat-trick of in the Hattrick League. Congratulations 7 times Hattrick hero Nawaz. And whom you dedicate today's Hattrick? To the friends. Thank you.
And here is today's hat-trick hero Nawaz scorecard. In game 1, he outs Abdullah by checkmate in 28 moves. And in game 2, he outs Waris by checkmate in 16 moves. And in game 3, he outs Aravind by checkmate in 34 moves. Totally, Nawaz did hat-trick in 78 moves. Congratulations hat-trick hero Nawaz. All the best for the next matches. And here is the points table of Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us see what are the top 4 teams after finishing off 22 matches. Proddatur Chirtas team with 8 points stands on first position. Proddatur Kings team with 8 points stands on second position. Proddatur Spartans team with 8 points stands on third position. Proddatur Jaguars team with 6 points stands on fourth position. Each team after playing 9 matches, final points are calculated for top 4 positions. Top 4 teams only qualify for the final playoffs.